Hey, ladies. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. It is your girl Cherie in the building. Don't forget to like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you are listening to the replay, then please put replay in the comments, or better yet, tell us as you're listening to this video some of the things that you are surprised about or that you didn't know, etc., with regards to this topic. So, this topic is reaction to an ALUX video. If you're not familiar with ALUX, it's ALUX.com. Sorry, ALUX on YouTube. And they have all sorts of uh, motivational things with regards to becoming, now they're going from millionaire to billionaire and things like that. But I thought that was a very interesting discussion that they had. We're going to listen to it, and we are going to hear, things that the rich people advise that they don't do, and they have some interesting observations and explanations for these things, etc. So, with that, hello, it's Brits. Hello, just being nosy. Welcome. Yes, it's team making money. Yes, it is. Also, I do want to remind everybody that if you are not on my email list, you definitely want to get on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. We do things behind the scenes that we don't do on YouTube, including I'm still trying to figure it out. I had a little snafu with my little masterclass thing, but I'm still trying to figure it out. We're going to watch a couple of master classes and discuss them. Those things are heavily copywritten, so we can't do it on YouTube. We got to do it behind the scenes. We talk about, other ways for you to level up your career, your social circle, things like that. So you definitely want to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. Hey, NC worker. Hello, Financially Basic from California. Love it. Okay. So let us start talking about this ALUX video here. I'm going to start and stop it as they start mentioning different things. I think it's a very interesting conversation for us to have. ALUX is, I don't know like who, it is a voice. I don't know who actually runs this, but they have some interesting topics. And what I thought was interesting about this video is they mention things that the rich advise but don't do. And they talk about why and how they instead set up their lives. So, with that, we are going to watch, move that here, the first part of it. Yeah, it's not normal. Okay, let's get started.
Looks for advice from the rich. But advice is not universally applicable, and even they don't follow it, and for good reason. Here are 15 things rich people advise, but never actually do. Welcome to ALUX. Number 1, go to school. Going to school with all its downsides is still good advice for most people. It gives you a predictable path forward when you don't know any better. It won't put you ahead of anyone. It won't prepare you for the real world. But, at least you're not falling behind at a dramatic pace. And that's good advice for most people. But the rich are not most people. Like we said before, the only reason you should consider not going to college or any other type of education is if you have something better to do. And the rich? Well, they've always got something better to do. They know the school system is outdated and there isn't much to gain there besides some
I agree with them there. The school system is outdated. So they're recognizing it and they're changing and shifting the types of schools that they send their kids to. Hey, Shar, good to see you. That is true. So it's not that the rich are not going to school, they're not sending their kids to school. It's the types of schools and the types of immersive activities that their kids are doing that's comparable to the skills that they need today, versus if you are poor, middle class, sometimes even upper middle class, you are sending your kids sometimes to schools that are teaching them things that they can never use, that's not easily applicable. And the rich also send their kids to schools where they can get the networking done, the networks that they need in order to be successful. That's why you see so many people pushing in order to get into Ivy League schools, to Harvard, to MIT, to Duke, because it's who you know and the access that you can get to people as well. So let's keep listening to this.
Connections and maybe some open doors. As for educating their kids, well, that's a different story. You see, there are three kinds of schools: public schools, private schools, and exclusive schools where only the real wealthy parents send their kids.
So, ladies, if you are a younger woman and you are looking to raise nepo babies and you are looking for a husband in order to do that, these are the kinds of conversations you need to have. What is the cost to send your kid to one of these exclusive schools or your kids, and can he help you get there if you're truly looking to raise nepo babies? Let's keep going.
And if they don't find one, they'll just build it themselves and hire world class professors from around the globe. Number two, reduce spending. The first bit of advice rich people will give to those who are struggling financially is to reduce their spending. But here's something that many don't fully understand: you are not saving your way to $1 million.
That is true now. Most people, the supermajority of us, cannot save our way to $1 million. We're going to have to earn it, which is one of the reasons why I left the job that I was doing in order to earn more money. So that's why you want to be in tech. You want to be in sales. You want to be in positions where you're able to make 130, 150 plus. Tam is coming back. Tech Tam, I should call her, from Women in Linux. She's coming back to talk about how you can make 200K a year. Let's keep going.
When poor people look at where to cut, the rich look at where to add. It's a different mentality. You can't really tell someone, just make more money, if they don't know how money really works. It'll just make them confused and annoyed. But you see, you can't really reduce your spending lower than zero. You are hard capped by how little money goes out of your pocket. Once you've got nothing left, this advice is useless. The rich never reduce their spending below what they consider necessary. And if there's a need for more disposable cash, they look at ways to generate more. There's no limit to how much money you can make, but there is one on how little you can spend.
So, what do you think, ladies, think of that? So, instead of the rich thinking, "Oh my goodness, I gotta reduce my spending," they're focused more so on how much money they can make and on making more money. In fact, one of the things that, as I was listening to Grant Cardone back in the day and people like that, they always talked about the fact that number one, you can't save your way to $1 million. And number two, if you are running into a cash crunch, the best thing that you can do is number one, stop the bleeding, meaning that if you've got unnecessary expenses, cutting those off, but then spending 80% of your time looking for ways to make additional money, which is why on this channel, I've done it in the past. I have a whole playlist of additional ways for you to have a side business in order for you to make more money, to have, to fix up your resume. You can go to Mentor Shelley. She can help you, transition, level up, make more money in your career, etc. But you want to think about that. Y'all are quiet tonight. Put a 2 in the chat if you like what you're hearing. Y'all are pretty quiet, and there are 18 people in here.
Number three, get out of debt. The average person is notoriously bad with debt. As a matter of fact, 77% of Americans have had some type of debt that's not going away anytime soon. The buy now, pay later strategy is engraved in the culture. If you struggle financially,
So I want to say this, and thank you so much for putting twos in the chat. Just want YouTube to know that y'all are still liking this content. It's Britt saying, I'm in sales, and what you said is true. Absolutely. Part of the reason why I got into sales is because I didn't want to cap on my income. I have a playbook. I'm running my playbook. The people on average who do well in my industry are making 400,000 to $1 million a year. So, you know, ladies, you definitely want to consider these types of things. Um, and you're saying I'm paying attention. Thank you so much. The other thing they just said in the video here is that they just said about the buy now, pay later. Ladies, the rich use the buy now, pay later to lend you money at exorbitant rates. However, it's not best for us to use and consume that money. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and they talk about that as well. So, my mother, she's going to kill me for telling y'all this, but that's okay. She'll never see this. My mother bought some concert tickets and she did the buy now pay later program, and I never use it, so I don't really know that much about it. But oh my goodness, I get to pay over a course of 3 months, and she was having some problems getting the tickets delivered to her, so she asked me to help her from a technology point of view. Can anybody guess what the interest rate was on those tickets for the buy now pay later? Anybody want to guess the interest rate? I know there's a 30-second delay, so I'll give you all a chance to respond. Because the rich actually use the buy now, pay later in order to get richer. So, what is the interest rate for buy now, pay later? Because this is a strategy from the richest man in Babylon. Becky knows it. 30%. Yes, it was 30%. No, it wasn't 18%. It was 30%, ladies. I said, what a racket. So now the rich has, $1 million. You said you guessed. You guessed right. Look, the rich now have $1 million to put in. In a year, they're making $300,000 just on interest for you getting into buy now, pay later, you getting into the check cashing, you know, the H&R Block and places like that where in February you're desperate for your refund money, so you agree to take less money. These people are making 30% on their money from these ways. Let me just say it like that. From these ways, right? Hey, Rose, welcome. Welcome. We're on lesson number 3 of this video. So you're still good. So yeah, 30%. 30%. Yes. So let's keep watching the video here.
getting out of debt should definitely be a priority, which is the opposite of what rich people actually do. You see, the rich never use their own money to do anything. After all, why use your own money when you can use other people's money, aka debt? That's how the rich get exponentially richer. Debt is an extraordinary financial tool that can either make you extremely rich or extremely poor. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's best to stay clear of it altogether.
So this is the whole Dave Ramsey versus Grant Cardone thing where Dave Ramsey is like, stay out of debt, stay out of debt, stay out of debt. It is because most people don't know how to manage debt. Other people do know how to manage debt with regards to buying property, buying other types of assets that are going to grow, investing in businesses, buying businesses. People are using SBA loans in order to do that, etc. So um, I'm a person now where once I get out of debt, finally, I'm staying out of debt. Um, So I'm focused more on making enough money to have the investments that I want and need. However, I'm not anti debt. You definitely have to know what you're doing. And the younger you are with your using debt, let's say your 30s and early 40s, where you have time to bounce back from any mistakes, the better off you are. Rose is saying, okay, I was going to say, because I pay in full, I'm not letting these wicked elites make mercenary out of me. Yeah, so you want to be the lender at 30%. You do not want to be indebted for foolishness at 30%. But the rich also, they get favorable interest rates as well. So, whereas if you were to buy a house today, you may be paying 6.5%. They're probably getting their interest rates for their houses for less money. So, hey, Centria saying hello. Perfect. Let's continue watching this here.
Number 4, diversify. Here's something the average individual doesn't understand. When someone invests a couple $1,000,000 into a new type of venture, that's not diversifying, that's testing the waters. Because those millions represent a fraction of the available investment budget. If you look at Warren Buffett, which, by the way, we're doing a new series with money lessons from different people, and you can check out the first episode by clicking in the link in the top right corner. All right, back to the point. If you look at Warren Buffett, he only holds a handful of stocks, and he's been doing that for decades. When the rich say diversify, they mean investing in the index fund, not the particular stocks, or buying the apartment complex, not just a unit. They don't spread too wide into things they don't fully understand or they simply have no interest in. Around 80% of their worth is safely parked in predictable investment ventures, and they guard it religiously. The other 20%, well, that's their play around money.
So let's talk about this. So when the rich consider investing, they invest in real estate heavily. In fact, the majority of people who are millionaires are there because of real estate. They invest in the stock market. Um, y'all know one of my favorite podcasts is My First Million. And the gentlemen that are in there, they sold their companies, and one of them just parks his money in a regular index fund. And then the rest of his money, he is doing these Airbnbs all over, in exotic places. That's where his money is parked. When we think as upwardly mobile Black women, and I am not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, this is just a comment and an observation. When we think what they're saying with regards to diversification, putting our money into an index fund is still diversifying. It's diversifying a bunch of across, we call it a group of industries on the stock market. Buying our houses is still a good thing. Buying a couple of rental properties is still a good thing. Not having too much money in crypto, but if you have, a couple of dollars, not too much, in Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin is going up. I think it just got back up to $30,000 yesterday. So but what they are saying here is that they don't have their money absolutely all over the place, and they don't put their money into businesses for the most part. For the most part, they don't put their money into businesses or into investments that they don't understand. That's the really big thing. So, kind of, even the Warren Buffett model of focusing on a few investments and watching them like a hawk is what the rich do. So they're telling us to diversify, but they don't, but they still are in the market. They still are in real estate, etc. So you're saying here, I honestly think these advice are put out there so we are okay with our current situation. That is part of it, absolutely, because the rich need people to be poor and go to work every day. So you're right, Shantria. The other reason that they do it is a protection mechanism as well. If you, for example, misuse debt, They don't want to be on the hook for that. So they will tell you not to get out of debt or not to get in debt, get out of debt, but they have money managers in order to kind of regulate how they're using debt and leveraging debt. So, hey, Rana. Hey, True Mystique. All right, let's see what else they're saying in this video.
Something to keep them busy and active. That also allows them to take bigger risks than the average individual without any major drawbacks. Number 5, always stay informed. In the information age, staying informed is crucial for making sound decisions. However, the rich face an overwhelming amount of information and advice from various sources. They recognize the importance of staying informed, but they also understand the need to filter and prioritize information effectively. It's called selective ignorance. It consumes brain power to always consume information, and that's why they hire people to make them reports.
Okay, so this is a good point as well. All of us suffer from information overload. It's very funny because in my current job, I've got my license to be a mortgage loan officer. And as I started learning about the business, I realized that there's just so much to learn, so many methods that people use to make money, so many programs that people use to make money. And I was talking to somebody and I said to him, I think I'm going to start practicing the 80/20 rule with regards to the information, which is I'm going to figure out what lane I want to, excuse me, everybody, what lane I want to focus on, what strategy I want to use. And I understand that 20% of what I do is going to get me 80% of my results. So I'm focused on the 20%. Some of you ask me sometimes where I get all of my information with regards to business news. I only go to 3 sites. I go to Business Insider, I go to Fox Business, and I go to what's the third one here? I go to Yahoo Finance, of course, Yahoo Finance. I also go to Black Enterprise as well. So on a daily basis, literally on my computer, I have um, a tab with like drop down of those sources of places where I go for my news. And that's it. And literally, I'm skimming to see what's important and I skim. And once I see what's important, what's happening overall, I'm out. I'm out to do other things. It is so important for us to not get stuck in information overload. I will also say something else as well. Years ago, my last W 2 job that I had, um, I worked for a company that went from $50 million to $200 million. And 98% of what I did for that company ended up at the CEO's desk, the COO, the CFO, etc. What they had me do was they had me like they would ask me a question, they would throw it out there. I would have to think about how I would answer that question. I would get all the information from all these different sources in the company, and I would put it together in a single executive summary for them to make decisions about like business and strategic decisions. So when they said in the video that the rich hire people to do reports for them, I was the report person at one point. It's very true, right? So, the rich have people, they have Wall Street analysts that will listen to the Elon Musk calls and um, do a write up about Tesla. Do they want to put more money in Tesla? Do they want to put more money in, um, I don't know, Warren Buffett stock, Berkshire Hathaway? Do they want to put money into this apartment building that they're buying, etc.? Leveraging people. We can do that same thing as well. We can start leveraging people to bring us real estate deals, to bring us uh, information with regards to the stock market, etc. So, Rose is saying, I don't mean to be contradictory, but they give special favors and concessions to the very rich and elite. That's true. What works for them when regular folks try it stand to lose a lot. That is true as well. That is true as well. I believe, yeah, I agree with that. Um, yeah, that's a great information strategy. Hey, you see me, I see you. Yeah, I try to keep it simple. Um, I did not know Black Enterprise was still in existence. Only online. I don't think they have their paper copies anymore, but yes, only online. It's a small, how do I say it? It's not what it used to be. Let me just say it like that. It's not what it used to be. However, when there are, especially like grants for Black businesses, or there are specific uh, programs or stories with regards to Black people, Black Enterprise will feature it. It's blackenterprise.com. So that's the reason why I like it, especially for this channel. And just for me, being in the know, I look at Black Enterprise every day just to see what's there. You're saying here, I too have a squirrel brain, so much information to take in, I need to start filtering out. That is very much how I am. I started becoming overwhelmed with this position because so many loan officers that are top producing loan officers, these are people making $400,000 plus, because those were the people I was going to for my information. But everybody has a slight tweak in how they do their business. And overall, I was like, you know what? I need to now start zeroing in on the one or two people I really want to follow, their methodology, adapting it to Cherie, and just doing that thing. And I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. So you're saying I still get their magazines. You do? So, oh, I didn't know they still have magazines. So interesting. Hey, everybody. Yes, please like the video. Please like the video. And yes, please sign up for bwmakingmoney.com exclusive content, exclusive webinars, and behind the scenes meetings that we have as well. Okay, let's continue on with the video.
They don't need to know every little detail, they're only interested in what's valuable to them. And that's exactly how we built the Alux app. It's specifically designed with the Aluxer in mind, and we spent a lot of time and resources to bring it to life. Think of it like a high level. Number 6, stick to the budget. For most people, sticking to the budget is a sound plan. You don't want to overspend, and you don't want to find yourself in a position where you have to borrow money to pay for basic stuff. Responsible spending and all that. The rich, however, operate on a different level of financial math. You see, the average individual makes a budget and then works their way down, trying to fit as many things as possible. This is also the reason why they would rather have a lot of average things instead of a few good ones. But the rich, well, they start with the desired outcome. They look at what things they need to happen and what the requirements are to make it happen. They connect the dots that make financial sense, and then the budget comes last.
Okay, first of all, which magazine? It is Black Enterprise, Rana, Black Enterprise magazine. So that's what we were talking about. We were talking about the fact that, you know, like I have a low information diet. Well, I'm gonna say totally low information. I just only have four sources, and Black Enterprise was one. So blackenterprise.com, blackenterprise.com. The communication webinar, I haven't set the date yet. I haven't set the date yet, but as soon as I do, I will. It'll be sometime in July. So let's go back then and talk about this principle here, because I think that this is an important principle. Most of us, as middle class individuals, we start off with, this is how much money I'm making. I have a job, it pays me 120 a year, and taxes are taken out, my 401k is taken out, things are taken out, and then I have to live on what's left. I want to even encourage you to flip that around. If you were to look at your life as you would like it to be, what would you buy? What would you do? Now, unlike the rich, you don't have to go to the moon and back, right? But Do you want to have a first class trip every year? Instead of saying it's not in my budget, ask, what can I do if I have my 9 to 5 and I'm going to keep my 9 to 5 because I want my benefits and I got my career trajectory? Great. What can I do from 5 to 9 in order to make the additional money that I want to make in order to have the lifestyle that I want to have? Working your way back, I think that's very important. In fact, when the reason why I chose the position that I have today is because I wanted to make at least $300,000 a year after taxes. The reason for that is because I wanted 100,000 in order to pay my mortgage and have food and a trip every year, things like that. The second $100,000 was going to go to debt repayment, and then the third $100,000 was going to go to investing, right? Well, when I sat back and I asked, well, what position is going to give me that? It ended up needing to be a sales position with a specific type of product that I would be selling. So I want to encourage you to think about that as well. Even if you have your current 9 to 5, nothing wrong with that. Think about your 5 to 9. Think about the life that you want to have, having it right now, whether you're 28, whether you're 32, whether you're 47, whatever age you are, you can have that now. You can start a part-time job that brings in $3 to $5,000 a month, $8,000 a month. There are people who do it all the time. I showed you a guy a couple of months ago on this channel that makes $200,000 a year part time writing tweets for executives. People make money in all sorts of ways. So I definitely want to encourage you to adopt what the rich are saying with regards to this. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Rose, with regards to land, maybe that people are buying land. Um, but yeah, definitely think about that. In fact, let me ask a question of you. Start putting it in the chat. If money were not an option, if money were not an obstacle, what would you want to actually have? What kind of lifestyle would you want to have? Would you want a bigger home? Would you want a first class trip? Would you want to do more investing? You're saying, I want to write. Great. Yeah. People are making crazy amounts of money writing. And now with ChatGPT, you have some extra leverage. I made good money writing. I made good money writing business plans. The problem was I was stuck because I had just so much capacity. But I there are people who make more money writing business plans than I do. There's a woman that makes $600,000 a year doing pitch decks for companies that are raising capital. So, yeah, I mean, that's her full-time job. I mean, that's her full-time business, but yeah, it's totally, totally possible. So put some things into the chat with regards to what are the things that you want, kind of working your way backwards. What are the things that you want if money were not an obstacle? Definitely want to hear what you all have. And thinking about how your 5 to 9 can help you get there. You're saying more investing in modern small home. I love that. So kind of doing what the rich do. Actually sit down and work your way backwards. How much money do you need to do more investing? How much money do you need in order to get your modern small home? What can you do in your 5 to 9 in order to get there? Um, but how do I get into that? And will white people want to pay me, a Black woman, that much money? Well, first of all, you have to have self confidence that they will. So take away Black, take away white. Think experience and think results. So for that Twitter guy, for example, just go back and check my channel. You can even do a search for Twitter 200K on the channel. That Twitter guy, now I'll admit he had a network of people that he already knew. So it was easy for him to get his clients. But there are a lot of people who are doing all sorts of writing in order to get, um, doing all sorts of writing and making really good money. Will white people pay you? Yes, they pay me all the time. They pay me all the time. So yeah, they will. Don't worry about that. Focus on the results and focus on getting those first couple of contracts and making them really good, making them shine, and um, what do you call it? Getting referrals from those individuals, showing them as sample pieces of what you can do, etc. Rose is saying lots of land, having a farm to grow organic food, creating documentaries on African writing speeches. Great. Work your way back. What is it going to take? How much money do you need into order to do those things, in order to have those investments, and work your way back like the rich do? All right. Let me remove that. And
For example, if you spend $1 on ads and you get $1.1 in return, what's your marketing budget? Well, the correct answer is unlimited. Number 7, get a passive income. It's that time in the video where we burst some bubbles. All right, so passive income is one of the slowest ways to build wealth. You see, passive income makes you a lot of money when you already have a lot of money. Let's imagine for a moment that you're a world-renowned writer. Your books sell tens of thousands of copies every month, and you get paid royalties for each and every sale. That's a passive income, correct? Well, you see, by the time your book sells tens of thousands of copies each month, your speaking engagements generate at least the same amount of money in like 30 minutes. It's fairly easy to make passive income when you already have a lot to work with. And for most average people, passive income sounds like the dream. It's one of the most searched things on the internet. But you don't get rich from passive income. You get rich by having equity, owning parts of businesses that grow over time. You'll never see a rich person look for ways to make passive income, but you will always find them looking for ways to gain equity.
okay, so that was very interesting to me. The rich are not focused on passive income. They are focused on equity. They are focused on their investments. Yes. I call that semi active income personally, but okay. The real thing that she said here, which is true, is you cannot get rich with passive income. In order to get rich, in order to have money in the bank, you do have to be doing something active in order to get there. So, with Rose and her doing her writing, I would challenge her to find people who are making $200,000 plus part time doing writing. What are they doing? How do they find their clients? What are they writing exactly? What kind of results are they getting for people? It's mostly going to be some sort of business writing. There are people who have newsletters, who have paid subscriptions to newsletters where they're making hundreds of thousands a year being a thought leader and sharing their ideas about a specific topic, right? There are all sorts of ways to make money. The thought that the video is giving, which I do like, is instead of focusing on passive income, which a lot of people do, focus on getting your active income up and then putting that money into investments. Active income up, putting that money into investments. They call it equity. For us, it's homes, it's real estate, it's land, it's self storage units, it's um, index fund. If you want to go into regular stocks, you can. If you're following Diamond Dave and you want to learn about options, you can do that as well, et cetera, et cetera. But the passive income thing, what they're saying in this video, which I do agree with, is a lot of us focus too much on passive income instead of active income. Taking the next 10 years and just putting the hammer, you know, on the nail with regards to getting your active income up as much as possible. Same thing that Tam talked about. She talked about the fact that why would you have a $50,000 job or a $70,000 job when you can have a $200,000 job? You can do it for 10 years. You could do it for 15 years and you could have enough money to open up a family office. Tam talked about the fact that there are some developers and coders out there making $1 million a year doing things in blockchain. I showed you the website of the people that are training Black women specifically for $25 to do that job. So again, figuring out what profession you want to have. Let's say you have the gift of gab. Well, you know what? So does Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil sits down. Some people don't even think he has a real PhD. We don't know what credentials he has, but he sits down and he helps people with their problems and he makes millions of dollars a year. So, can you potentially, if you structure your time, your business, your income generating ability the right way? Let's keep watching.
Number 8, don't be afraid to take risks. Many believe that taking risks is an essential part of achieving success. And in some ways, yeah, it kind of is, but there's a caveat here. The rich know that not all risks are created equal, and the last thing they want to risk is it all. Contrary to popular belief, the rich play the game extremely safely. They avoid unnecessary or impulsive decisions that could jeopardize their wealth. And whenever they do take some risks, they do it with a big cushion under them. Remember, 80% invested safely and 20% play money? Well, they can afford to increase their risk tolerance with that 20%, but nothing will ever touch the other 80. Now, if you want a more in-depth explanation of how the rich take risks, we made a great video about it, which you can check out by clicking in the top right corner. Number 9, step out of your comfort zone. You've heard it time and time again. If you want to grow and make money, you need to step outside your comfort zone. And that's true if the comfort zone is your couch. But the rich actually stay well within their comfort zone most of the time. They understand that focusing on their strengths and mastering their craft leads to greater success and opportunities.
Okay, I really like this as well. When we think get out of our comfort zone, we tend to think, hey, do something radically different than we are skilled at, do something radically different than we've ever done before, etc. When they think about their comfort zone, they do focus on the richest people that I know as well, focus on the thing that they do really well. Years ago, this gentleman asked me to come work for him, and I had mentioned him on my channel before. At the time, he owned a $50 million business. It's probably twice to three times as much now. Actually, had an email exchange with him this morning. Yeah, this morning. And what he said to me, he bought this business, he's growing it, etc. And he said to me, Cherie, I have this basket here. And all I do is focus on this basket. I focus on making this basket grow. And he's a very good leader and a very good entrepreneur. He brings on very talented people to his team and he focuses on cultivating them and he gives them the resources and the things that they need in order to go out. And he's in the government contracting space in order to go out and get more contracts, which then he services. So if you are really good at, you know, business psychology, focusing on that and figuring out how you become the top 10%. For me, I want to be the top 10% with regards to mortgage loan originators in the country. I know how much money they make. I know what they're doing in loans, etc. So I'm working on my plan to get there. For you, whatever it is, you want to focus on getting to the top 10%. So, the rich are basically saying, hey, forget about comfort zone. Get into your comfort zone and dig deeper, meaning that get into the skills that you have and really, really become known for those skills.
Stepping out of their comfort zone can sometimes result in unnecessary distractions or a dilution of their expertise. You see, the golden words for the rich are predictable outcomes, and they do everything in their ability to make those numbers add up in their favor. The reality is, there's no reason to make it harder for you to make it. Number 10.
Before we go to number 10, I just want to say step out of your comfort zone does not mean don't network. Because I just realized that as well. Step out of your comfort zone does not mean don't network. And I think they have it as one of their 15 as well, that they are heavily networked. Okay. It strictly refers to squirrel. Somebody mentioned that earlier, that they're very much a squirrel type of person. Like, no, 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 no. Like, figure out what box you're going to be in and stay there. But definitely, if you are shy, if you are more introverted, having a multicultural network is going to help you tremendously. Even for people who are okay with networking like me, the more people I know, the more people who know me, the greater opportunities I can have. Even though I am fine with regards to talking to people, I am shy when it comes to picking up the phone and doing, it's not even cold calls, it's like calling my network, right? But I've had to um get out of that if I want to make the income that I know I can make. So all of us are still trying to figure out how to get out of our comfort zones. There are some times when you have to get out of your comfort zone, and sometimes when you have to dig deeper into the comfort zone um, that you should, stay in. So hope that that's clear. Number 10 is save for retirement. Let's hear what they have to say.
Save for retirement. Saving for retirement seems like sound advice, right? Especially since it's highly unlikely your government will be able to take care of you when you're old. And thinking about retirement gives you a sense of long term financial security and stability. But it's a false sense. You see, for the average individual, retirement is an age. For rich people, retirement is more like a dollar amount. It's a number, it has nothing to do with age. And it for sure has nothing to do with saving, because as we said earlier, you're not going to save your way to $1 million, let alone enough money to last you until you're gone.
Yeah, because $1 million for most people is not enough for retirement.
Number 11, invest in real estate. Real estate used to be called an idiot proof investment because it's pretty hard to mess up. But here's the reality: millionaires invest in real estate, billionaires invest in businesses. With real estate,
Did you all hear that? Millionaires invest in real estate, billionaires invest in businesses. What types of businesses? Number one, the businesses that they own, uh, businesses that people that are near to them own. For example, Jeff Bezos, he, had a network of people who were able to invest early in Amazon. There's a Black woman that I know who is a part of a family office, and they bring new companies in front of them all the time. They invest in those businesses. They get very involved in those businesses, etc. So I'm not suggesting that you do that unless you have a strong team, you have a strong financial sense, you know what you're doing, etc. But the best business you can invest in is your own business. Is your if you are inclined to run a business. Okay, let's keep watching.
usually takes decades until you make a profit after the property is paid off. That is, if nothing crazy happens with the housing market, interest rates, natural disasters, all that stuff. There are definitely millionaires being made in real estate, a lot of real estate, but it can only get you so far. There's a reason billionaires have most of their funds in private equity, not in real estate.
I don't know if I agree with her with regards to that. I would need to see the numbers on that because the supermajority of, so I don't think I know any billionaires. I just know millionaires. There are billionaires that have their money in private equity, but that private equity fund may own apartment buildings and things like that. So I I don't know if I agree with her there. I would need to see the numbers in order to verify that the billionaires don't own real estate. I mean, think about the Hiltons, Paris Hilton, Nikki Hilton. Um, think about even Amazon, for example. They've got data centers all over the country. Um, these wealthy people are buying real estate. It may just be the vehicle that they're buying it in, the corporate entity or the corporate structure. So that's I don't agree with her on that. I would need to see more data with regards to that. Let's keep going.
Number 12, network extensively.
I talked about networking, so ladies here, definitely.
Networking is considered essential for professional growth and success, and it's often emphasized as a valuable skill to develop. However, the rich, being in a different league altogether, focus more on strategic connections and high level relationships. In other words, the average individual wants to know a lot of people. The rich want to know just a handful of people who know a lot of other people. They understand the power of a selected network of influential individuals who can provide unique opportunities and access to exclusive deals. Why need to know someone for every door when you can know someone with the keys to the entire building? Quantity is not nearly as important as quality when it comes to networking for the wealthy.
So I really like that. I really like the thought and the idea of telling us that you don't have to know a gazillion people. You could quite frankly know 10 to 20 people really, really well within your profession. That if you need a job, if you're trying to switch positions, things like that, you talk to those 10 to 20 people and you could practically get into any company out there. If you're a business owner and you're looking for opportunity, for example, within government contracting, 10 to 20 people may be all you need, strategic people that can open the door for you to get government contracts, right? So I definitely like that and agree with that. Networking strategically, not networking just to meet people, but going places that are going to have the specific people that you need to know who actually can vouch for you, bring you opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much, Shar, for reminding everybody, signing up for bwmakingmoney.com, the exclusive content that we have. Um, let's keep going because that was a very important thing. There's only a couple left.
Number 13, follow your passions. It's true that work doesn't feel like work when you're genuinely enjoying what you're doing. But the thing is, passion is rarely financially viable unless your passion is to make money, which is kind of a weird passion to have, to be honest. And you see, even if you get lucky and manage to transform your passion into a business, you'll quickly find that bills are paid through invoices, not mood walls. The majority of people who start a business out of passion.
Bills are paid through invoices and not likes either, ladies. So just because somebody has a lot of likes on social media, a lot of followers on social media, does not mean that they are successful.
Well, they either find a way to distance themselves from an executive position or they sell the business altogether. It may happen in 5 years or 10 years or 15, but it will happen. Number 14, embrace failure. Now, we recently posted a video about failure and why it should be avoided at all costs. You see, most of the time, people don't actually learn from their failures. If anything, failure is a major drawback and a waste of time and resources. You can find a silver lining in failure, sure, but the rich do everything in their power to avoid it or at least minimize it. Failure is a teachable moment that you didn't learn beforehand.
So that's interesting as well. The fact that the rich avoid failure, the rich want to learn from other people's failure. The rich actually go to their advisors in order to figure out how not to fail. So this is a theme with regard to this video where she talks about the fact that They do their best to hang on to like 80% of their money, and then 20% of it is like play money with regards to their investments. This is the same type of thing. Warren Buffett has his saying, his famous saying that rule number one in investing is don't lose your money. And rule number two is don't forget rule number one. It's the same thing. So I'm about to put the link in the chat in case anybody wants to come up. And we're going to look at the final number 15 thing that the rich advise, but they don't do.
And number 15, work hard. We'll end this list with the most common advice you'll ever hear, and that's to work hard. The most valuable time the rich have is the time they spend outside of the office. And it just so happens that in order to have as much of that time as possible, they need to put in the work now and then. But hard work is massively overrated. If you find yourself working really hard, you're either inefficient or under equipped. The only exception to this rule is like crunch time when something really big needs to happen quickly and swiftly. Product releases, important deals, that type of stuff. But other than that, working hard has a lot of diminishing returns. Nobody actually works 12 hours a day unless that work is management work, which is not as taxing. The optimal work for the rich is few activities with a lot of impact. Solving the big ticket items, that's
Okay. So that was the final thing that they said with regards to working hard and the fact that they believe working hard is overrated. Um, I believe all of us came from hardworking parents, grandparents, etc. We probably work hard as well. We want to work smarter. One of the things that I do like that they said is ultimately figuring out how you could do a few things really, really well. I know one gentleman, for example, he's just a great networker. He knows how to connect people, how to put people together. And because of that, he's got a couple of deals um, coming up because people bring him opportunities, bring him really great opportunities, but that's what he focuses on. Um, so, yeah, really thinking overall about how you are able to reduce the number of things you're doing and focus more on strategic things you're doing versus, doing 80 million things, working 12 hours a day, etc. Unless you're really, really in the process of building something and it's crunch time, because eventually your body's going to wear out. Or if you're a parent, your kids are going to want you to, play with them or enjoy them, etc. So that is the show for the evening. That's the live stream. I don't see anybody coming up. So, um, as we leave, though, tell me like the thing you learned tonight or the thing that surprised you with regards to the things that they advise and never do. Put a final comment in. I will read your final comments. Definitely make sure everybody has liked the video. Please like the video. Please sign up for our email list for exclusive content, bwmakingmoney.com. And everybody, if you really tell me, please really quickly tell me like one thing that surprised you this evening with regards to this list before we wrap up. We wrap up our Friday and enjoy our weekend. I'm hopefully going to have some time tomorrow to do a little small business Saturday because I've been missing that. So you may get me tomorrow as well. Rana is saying passive income doesn't mean rich. Yeah, the rich don't fight for passive income. Yes. Great info. Just need to know a handful of people. Yes. You need to know the handful of strategic people in order to be successful. Anybody else want to tell me something that they learned, something that they're shocked about, things like that before we get out? I hope we got our likes up as well. Yeah, we got 35 likes. So we're good. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you will have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, and you may see me tomorrow. Oh, just being nosy. Put something here. Nothing surprised me. I was always aware that well-off people try to keep the populace under their foot to stay on top. Yeah, but you as an individual can rise. You as an individual can rise. Focus on the skills I already have. I love it. You see me, I see you. I love it. I was shocked that much money is paid for tweets. Yeah, yeah. Go back and look at my content. It's in there somewhere. You are welcome. You are welcome. Donna B is in the building. All right, ladies, I'm going to enjoy my Friday evening. You enjoy your evening, everybody. You just missed a live. Yeah, replay it, Jay. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good evening.